Hello, my cherished friend. I'm so glad you're here with me today. Welcome to Love and Life. Are you at that crossroads right now? You're staring at your phone, his name flickering on the screen after weeks or months of silence. Or maybe he's already back in your life, but a quiet uncertainty lingers, a swirling mix of hope and hesitation that feels incredibly challenging to navigate. Today, I want to offer you clarity when everything feels foggy, not through flashy tactics or manipulative games, but by looking honestly at the fundamental truths that determine whether a relationship can genuinely heal and flourish after a separation. This isn't about making him come back. It's about discerning if his return and your path forward truly serves your highest self. Your heart, my love, deserves nothing less than a love that genuinely elevates. The first question that gently arose for me when I found myself at a similar crossroads was whether what we had could truly be mended. I've come to think of relationships like precious heirlooms. Some, when broken, can indeed be restored with immense patience and meticulous care. Others, however, despite our deepest desires, were simply not meant to withstand certain fractures. From both my personal journey and from observing the paths of so many beautiful women, this truth has unfolded for me in two distinct ways. First, there are those times when the connection may be beyond healing. This is when his consistent actions clearly signaled a desire to leave. Maybe he openly pursued other women, or perhaps he caused you significant harm, whether physically or emotionally. This is also true when he has fundamentally lost respect for who you are. I once poured my entire heart into a situation like this, believing love could conquer all. But darling, it was like trying to plant a garden in stone. My effort wasn't misplaced, but the foundation simply couldn't nurture genuine growth. Then there are those times when there's beautiful possibility. These are the love stories where the cracks appear from natural friction, disagreements about life's direction, different habits that create tension, or those smaller conflicts that, with genuine care and open communication, can absolutely transform into a deeper understanding and intimacy. Seeing this distinction clearly is everything, because continuing to pour your precious heart into someone who has genuinely disconnected from you emotionally will only deepen your wounds. I've learned, sometimes painfully, that the less we chase after someone's affection, the more clearly we can see if they're truly walking toward us. The partners worthy of your extraordinary heart are those who, even through difficulties, maintain that foundation of care and respect. Once you've looked honestly at your relationship and truly believe it can bloom again, the next essential step is creating a mutual commitment to real, heartfelt change. Without this deep agreement, you're essentially walking back into the same garden where the same weeds will inevitably grow. And before long, you'll find your heart aching in familiar ways. It's a fascinating truth about relationship dynamics. When hearts are wounded, we often respond from different ends of the emotional spectrum. Many of us, as women, instinctively move closer, seeking reassurance and connection. Meanwhile, I've noticed that men frequently step back emotionally, processing their feelings more internally. Understanding these different rhythms is precisely why it's so vital to consciously agree on specific steps for healing together, rather than simply assuming love alone will bridge these natural differences. In the shared stories of so many beautiful women, there's a pattern that emerges. In our longing to restore connection, we sometimes accept a reunion without asking for meaningful, tangible change. We often fall into this partly because we're not always certain how to address these delicate issues effectively. And when our approach isn't aligned with what truly heals, the results rarely satisfy our deepest needs. What I've learned about reconciliation patterns is that it's about accepting reunions without requiring growth, lacking clear pathways for healing, and settling for surface-level changes that don't reach the heart of the matter. Now, how can you tell if your relationship is genuinely evolving and not just returning to old habits? From my experience walking this path, watch for these revealing patterns. First, words without action. He might speak so beautifully about change, but when you look closely, nothing in his behavior actually shifts. I once believed 1,000 promises, only to watch none of them materialize in my real life. It was a painful truth to face, but one that taught me so much. Second, watch for reluctant, minimal effort. He might make small changes, but they come with sighs and resistance. They feel like a concession rather than a genuine desire to nurture what you both share. In my own story, this looked like temporary improvements that came with an underlying current of resentment, and that feeling just doesn't feel like true love. And third, look for the return to comfort zones. He might make sincere efforts initially, but gradually slips back into familiar patterns as the emotional intensity fades. This cycle of improvement and regression can be the most heartbreaking because it offers glimpses of what's possible, only to fade away like morning mist. Breaking free from these cycles requires something I wish I'd understood years ago, a meaningful framework for addressing the root causes, not just the symptoms. Without this deeper approach, relationships tend to deteriorate rather than truly flourish. I'll be sharing more about my specific method for this transformation, dear friend. It's something I've developed through both personal healing and deep observation. What I've come to understand through observing relationships that truly thrive after a period of disconnection is that having the right approaches to healing isn't just helpful, it's absolutely essential. Without them, couples are like artists trying to paint their future together with no brushes or canvas. The vision might be there, but they lack the tools to bring it to life. For many, the transformation begins with truly resolving core disconnections, moving beyond those quick emotional bandages. This deep work is what turns a fragile second chance into something with real roots and resilience. It's why creating a thoughtful relationship renaissance plan can become a compass guiding couples toward rebuilding not just surface harmony, but the deeper trust and understanding that allows love to truly flourish even through challenges. A precious truth I've discovered along the way: if you slip back into taking each other for granted, that casual emotional neglect that happens when we stop truly seeing each other, those reconnected feelings can slowly dim again. So many of the struggles I observe in relationships stem from never establishing nourishing patterns of connection from the beginning. By intentionally dating each other again with real presence, genuine curiosity about each other's evolving inner worlds, and deliberate care, you're actually crafting new neural pathways in your relationship. These fresh patterns help both of you step away from old triggers and keep emotional disconnection from creeping back in. It's like creating a beautiful new path through a garden you're tending together, one mindful moment at a time. As you consider opening your heart to him again, remember these 3 essential guideposts. First, honestly assess if what you share can truly be renewed. Listen to both your heart and the wisdom of your experiences together. Second, if renewal is possible, create a shared approach for healing those core disconnections. This isn't his work alone, nor yours alone. It's a deep journey you undertake together. Third, consciously redesign how you connect to prevent old patterns from resurfacing. What I've observed in my own life and in the journeys of women around me is that we sometimes welcome a man back primarily because we miss his presence, often driven by that natural longing for connection or that empty space he once filled. But I want something more beautiful for you, my dear one. A woman who honors her worth finds her deepest joy not in simply having someone return, but in creating a relationship that truly nourishes her soul. When he comes back into your life, take that gentle pause to reflect on the potential quality of your shared future, not just the immediate comfort of having him near.
I receive this question often in my messages. Casey, when he promises me things will be different this time, how do I know if I can trust that? My response always comes from both my heart and my experience. Watch the alignment between his words and his consistent actions. Anyone can offer beautiful promises in a moment of reconnection, but it's the small, daily choices that reveal a person's true commitment to growth. Observe how he shows up, not just in grand moments, but in ordinary ones, and let that pattern guide your heart's decisions. Before we part ways today, I want to leave you with this tender reminder. Reconciliation isn't simply about returning to what was. True healing is about consciously creating something far more beautiful than what existed before. The most profound relationships are rarely those that never faced storms, but rather those where both souls emerged from the tempest with a deeper reverence for what they truly share. In your quietest moments, when you're contemplating whether to welcome him back into the garden of your heart, remember that you are not merely a caretaker of someone else's growth. You are the primary steward of your own precious life journey. The decision to reconcile should feel like an expansion of your spirit, not a contraction of your light. I've observed many women who initially confused loneliness with love, only to discover later that waiting for the right connection, one that honors their deepest truth, brought them a partnership beyond what they had imagined possible. True love doesn't ask you to shrink. It invites you to become more authentically yourself. As you stand at this crossroads, trust the wisdom that already lives within you. Your heart knows the difference between a connection that's simply familiar and one that genuinely nurtures your soul's flowering. Listen carefully to that inner knowing. It rarely misleads. May your path forward, whether it includes him or leads to new horizons, be guided by self-honor and an unwavering commitment to a love that elevates rather than diminishes. You deserve nothing less than a relationship where both hearts can truly come home to each other again and again. This is Casey, sending you strength and tenderness in equal measure. Until next time, remember that your worth remains undiminished regardless of who recognizes it. Take gentle care of your precious heart.